experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Surprise.
Yep.
Alisa was still fixing her hair when I turned the camera.
I was trying to fluff it a little.
Welcome back to another Casual Friday episode, but this one's different because it's on Monday. Why is it on Monday, Alisa? Tell everybody.
Because Friday, this weekend is Derby weekend, and we wanted to have Friday off for Derby, but I don't think there's much going on for Derby.
No, thanks to our goofy, I want to say something different, goofy mayor
and
Fisher, Governor Andy Beshear, who still are treating Kentucky like it's ground zero for COVID. Seriously. We never had the cases anybody else had in the United States, but these two douches just are playing it to the hilt. They really are. Terrible. It really is. Our economy has suffered. The downtown of Louisville, all these businesses moved out. It's like a ghost town now. Thanks to the economic destruction of our mayor and our governor. Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Anyway, this is Casual Friday, where we get to talk about stuff in the news. We get to be playful and funny. I try to be funny. And we answer your questions as well. So please feel free to post. If you're watching on Facebook, you may have to go to YouTube. Facebook is having problems with streams today. But you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can post comments and questions, and we'll work them into the show. Before we get started, we have to thank our title sponsor, and that's Legendary Foods. Makers of the amazing tasty pastry, which we are going through faster than you can imagine. I'm actually having two at a time.
We would be you and Timmy.
Yeah, Elisa's not gorging herself.
I'm not gorging on them like you guys do.
Yeah, my nephew Timmy and I we eat two at a time on average, and a couple times a day. But the red velvet cake is now trumped by cookies and cream. They now make the cinnamon in the cake style. Everything is moving to the cake style. The original tasty pastry that they entered the market with is being phased out. They're all cake style. They're so good. They're fluffy. They're light. They're creamy on the inside. They're delicious. You'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Alisa, say it.
You'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. I like the strawberry.
The strawberry is delicious.
It was probably one of the originals, I think.
No. Oh, yeah. I think strawberry was. Strawberry and cinnamon, I believe. Or maybe it was. I don't know. I can't even keep up. They've got so many new flavors coming out, too. 20 grams of high-quality protein, less than 1 gram of sugar. This is a great choice for you to. And by the way, non-gluten ingredients, but they can't say gluten-free because I think that they're made in a plant where they actually work with wheat. So there could be some cross-contamination. So they don't put gluten-free, but all of the ingredients to make them are gluten-free. So there you go. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary. Use the code SHR10 to save 10% off, or let's play a game. Listen during the show in the commercial breaks for the secret word. Email the secret word along with your address to onair@superhumanradio.net. We're giving away boxes a day now, thanks to Ron Penna's generosity. Boxes. So your chances are good of winning them. And we are getting emails from people now that we're going to start promoting who got the free tasty pastries, and they're ordering more because they're that good. So don't forget to enter today. Listen for the secret word. Okay, back to the show. So we have lots of things to talk about today, Alisa. What do you want to lead on with?
Well, I wanted to start out, since it's spring and everything's blooming and flowers are beautiful, I wanted to talk a little bit about a forgotten flower or weed, dandelion. I was drinking dandelion tea this week, and I thought it would be good to talk about on the show.
Well,
This
but what really made us interested in dandelion is you were fortunate enough to get something from Papa. Your grandfather used to make dandelion wine, and your cousin sent the entire family the dandelion wine recipe.
The dandelion wine recipe right here, my grandfather's original recipe, and on it there's a poem, which is really interesting because the poem it's a prohibition poem. So I guess the prohibition was from 1920 through 1933. So back then, I guess a lot of people started making their own alcohol. And this prohibition poem was on here. I just thought that was really interesting.
Read it for the audience, please.
Mother's in the kitchen, washing out the bottles. Sister's in the pantry, taking off the labels. Father's in the cellar, mixing up the hops. Johnny's on the front porch, watching for the cops.
That's great. I mean, look, man, people persevere. The government can't squash us. Let's remember that through this entire show. Really. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But anyway, so I have my grandfather's original dandelion wine. He also made elderberry wine. I can remember as a child, we would go down and the barrels would have the balloons on them. And when the balloons were full, we would siphon out the wine and put it into bottles for him when I was younger.
Yes, siphon out the wine. Alisa was hitting the bottle at 8.
And drinking it. But yeah, so I guess during Prohibition, they made their own. And then we were also drinking the dandelion. This is traditional medicinals, organic. So that's another thing. If you do use dandelion flowers from your yard, or I guess you told me a story about people were gathering them around the
So my grandfather would always gather the dandelion that grew in his garden, and my grandmother would put it into salads. Number one, I have a very, very, very close friend who now moved to Virginia, Dave Cole. He was the former agent in charge of the FBI here in Kentucky. And he and his wife, Ioli is from Italy. They would go along the areas, like not right along the highways, but the grassy knolls that lead up to highways, and they would pick the dandelion and bring it home. And she would make fantastic salads with it. She'd put it in soup. The Italians have been eating dandelion forever. In America, it's a weed. People, hey, get rid of that dandelion. Spray my lawn with something to get rid of that dandelion. But it is what's the word? Invasive.
It is invasive.
It is considered a weed to some people, but to some other people, they know that it's a magical plant that you should be eating and making tea out of.
You have to be careful because of herbicides and pesticides. You know, even if it's in your own yard. The overspray from your neighbor's yard, they could be spraying and it could come into your yard. So you have to be really careful with that. But harvesting the dandelion plants throughout the growing season provides tea, salad greens, wine. They're packed with vitamin C, A, and K, plus potassium and powerful antioxidants. I guess I read that fall is the best time to harvest the dandelion root.
So let's talk about this, Alisa. Educate us for a second. So when the dandelion has the fuzzy top that as children we used to love to blow into the wind, that's not mature yet, right? It's when it has the yellow flower that it's mature.
That's correct. You can do a lot with the leaves, the root, and the flower, the entire plant.
And that puffy top that we used to love to blow when we were kids is why dandelion is so invasive and grows so well everywhere, because those little suckers blow and they fall on the earth and they plant new dandelions.
Right. The flowers should be taken when they are newly opened and all the petals are still retained. To keep them fresh, you can put the stems in a bowl of cool water. Before harvesting the leaves, cover the plant with a dark fabric to blanch them. This will reduce any bitterness. The youngest leaves are the tastiest, but mature leaves are still excellent when they're sautéed. So you can harvest the roots at any time. How to harvest them: use clean scissors to snip off the leaves and flowers. Retain a bit of the stem on the flower so you can keep them in water. Avoid high traffic areas when harvesting dandelion plants. We already discussed that. Always wash your plant material well.
And
Go
I just
ahead.
want to mention something. So there's a secret about dandelion that a lot of competitors know about. And dandelion is a very, very effective diuretic.
Diuretic, yes.
It will make you pee your brains out if you use it every day. Now, that means you have to watch your electrolytes or you end up with cramps.
I had some issues with electrolytes yesterday.
And we were drinking
from the dandelion tea.
Yeah.
So some of the things, the healthful benefits of it, the blood pressure since it is a diuretic, it's commonly used to treat high blood pressure, skin damage. Dried dandelion root ground into a paste and mixed with water can create a soothing paste for skin disorders like acne, eczema, psoriasis, and rashes and boils. Diabetes. Dandelion root is believed to have an anti-diabetic property due to the soluble fiber known as inulin.
So I have to interject here for a second. So about 4 years ago, a study was done that shows that inulin actually turns into fructose through the process of digestion. It's actually hydrolysis. It becomes fructose, which is not a good thing because a lot of inulin will lead to a lot of sugar. However, there's another component of dandelion root that appears to improve insulin sensitivity that has nothing to do with inulin. Nothing to do with insulin. That's important because anytime you can improve insulin sensitivity, you are going to actually help yourself age better.
Also, dandelion consumed as a tonic, it cleanses the liver. And then there's some preliminary research that suggests that dandelion root might have promise as an anti-cancer agent as well.
Really?
In a 2012 study from the University of Windsor in Canada reported that dandelion root extract was able to induce apoptosis in pancreatic and prostate cancer cells.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
So my question is, I mean, we have all these natural things that we can use for health, and we go, not our audience, but people go straight to drugs.
Because the Medical Association has been very successful in convincing people that natural stuff doesn't work and drugs work. Even though just about every pharmaceutical drug sold today came from a plant origin.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Like white willow bark, for example.
Right.
And acetylsalicylic acid.
Yeah, they isolated just that. Mm-hmm. But white willow bark works better than just aspirin alone for a variety of reasons.
I know. So anyway, I think that dandelion root is worth revisiting. If even just if you want to get rid of water weight for a photo shoot.
But I think put it in salads. I love the idea of putting it in salads.
Where are you gonna get dandelion root that hasn't been sprayed?
Oh, you're gonna have to look on the internet. Organic dandelion. I'm sure you can buy it. Please, there's got to be a source out there somewhere.
So this wine recipe calls for 1 gallon of perfect open dandelion blossoms, a gallon of them. That's a lot of
that's a lot of blossoms.
Flowers.
But you see how this stuff grows in fields, right? Look at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you come upon a field like this, you could probably pick 5 gallons worth of dandelion blossoms, those yellow flowers, easily. Mm-hmm. So that's all you have to do. When you're driving, pay attention to those yellow flowers that you never paid attention to before. Right? How many people drive past an open field and don't realize those yellow flowers are actually dandelion, or the purple flowers, or what? What are you always point out? Oh, look at the
violets.
Are they violets? Is that what they are? The purple, the little
ones. Yeah.
I mean,
in our yard,
people just drive past these colorful flowers, and there's literally acres of them, and they don't put it together and go, "Oh my God, those yellow flowers are dandelion." let me go see if I can knock on that guy's door and pick them. Let me see if he sprays his crops. Let me see if they ever grew anything over there. There's your dandelion. You don't have to buy it on the internet then.
Well, we had the guy on the show that was in Central Park foraging for foods in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that show?
Him and his daughter, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His daughter was named after a flower. I don't remember if it was Iris or something like that.
I think it was Iris.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's that. I think that dandelions let them grow wild in your yard.
Yeah, they're not weeds; they're food.
So where do you want to go next?
It's up to you. This is your show.
Okay, so let's talk about melatonin.
Okay.
One of your favorite supplements.
I did a show the first year that I was on the air with Clear Channel that melatonin may be the best anti-aging supplement in the world, and it costs pennies to take it. Yeah.
So I read an article about melatonin for women who are either menopausal or perimenopausal. One of the things, obviously, that it helps with is insomnia, because when you are, especially when you're menopausal, you have hot flashes, you can't sleep. So the melatonin helps you sleep, and that helps the whole cascade of side effects that you get from not being able to sleep. So if you don't sleep, you can't get up and go work out. You can't be productive if you're not sleeping. And classic menopause symptoms is hot flashes and not sleeping. Right?
Right. Yeah. And really, the reality is that most of the problems women develop, including blood sugar swings that lead to anxiety, are because they're not sleeping. If you know, they took Olympic athletes when we had the Winter Olympics in the Northwest United States, because I interviewed the scientists that did this. They took Olympic athletes and they shorted them sleep just for 3 nights. They shorted them. They could only sleep 5 hours. By the second day, they had the blood sugar swings of 80-year-olds. Now, interesting that they said 80-year-olds, because it's assumed that once you get old, you start becoming insulin resistant and you have these wild swings. So another study was done on interns. Physicians that were doing internships at hospitals had to work a 48-hour shift. And not only did their insulin resistance go way up, but their thyroid stopped producing thyroid hormone by the second day. So if you're not sleeping well, that's got to be job number one for you to fix before you fix anything else. Because if you fix your sleep, you'll find that 80% of the other things that you're suffering from will go away.
So they also did the Italian study of women aged 42 to 62. They received daily melatonin, and they reported major improvements in mood and elimination of daily morning depression. Didn't some of those women also start having their menstrual periods again?
Anytime you talk about this study to anybody, I even talked to Dr. Russell Ryder, one of the numerous times he's been on the show, about the Madonna del Grazie. So it's the Madonna del Grazie Menopause Institute in Rome, Italy. This is all they do is work with menopause. And they gave women a 3 milligram tablet of melatonin, and they gave them a diary, and the women had to take the melatonin at sundown. See, this is something that everybody misses. They had to take it at sundown. So when it started to get dark in their area of Italy, that's when they took it. They didn't take it right at bedtime. And I found this out from the author, who refused to come on the show because her English was so bad. But she told me that everyone was told to take it at sundown. That's a nuance that people forget. They don't get it, because timing is everything with these types of hormones. And numerous of the women not only regained menstrual cyclicity, meaning they got their periods back, even though they had been amenorrheic for at least 1 year. In order to be in the study, you had to be without a period for at least 1 year. Like 40% of the women got their period back, and a couple of them even got pregnant.
Really?
So, Yeah, they became fertile again. Yeah.
They
Now,
were age 42 to 62.
they were between the ages of 42 and 62. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you talk to melatonin scientists about this, they poo-poo it. Well, it's never been reproduced. Well, why doesn't somebody try to reproduce it? To put it through the rigors of science. Now, I will say this. There are lots of reasons that women go through menopause. It could be age-related. It could be stress-related. Women who suffer trauma, sometimes they go into menopause like overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which of the women got their cyclicity and fertility back and what the circumstances were around their perhaps premature menopause. So, but yeah, it's a fantastic study that everyone loves to ignore.
So there's also some evidence that the melatonin helps with your bone density. So I guess when you go through menopause, your estrogen levels seem to.
Well, now because we are Superhuman Radio, we cannot continue to prolong misinformation. So it turns out it's not the estrogen, but it's the oxytocin that the estrogen causes to elevate in women. Oxytocin is the reason that bone minerals break down or rebuild.
Okay.
Because we did that show, they took ovariectomized rodents, they gave one group estrogen, they gave one group oxytocin, and the group that got the estrogen did not see a dramatic increase in bone remineralization, but the group that got oxytocin saw amazing bone remineralization. Then they did a second study where they blocked oxytocin in young rodents, and those rodents developed osteopenia. And then they gave them oxytocin, and their bone came back to normal. So it's oxytocin that causes bone mineralization. However, you can't look at any hormone in a vacuum. Women who go through menopause, their oxytocin goes into the dirt. This is why so many women, when they go through menopause, they hate their kids, they lose empathy, they lose joy. That's oxytocin, and their bones start to fracture.
Well, according to this, they say that that if you are supplementing with the melatonin, it will help to bring your osteoclasts and your osteoblasts back to a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right. But that's because sleeping good, it probably increases in the end, whether it's estrogen and then oxytocin, sleeping good probably increases oxytocin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really where the magic is. I have to put something up real quick so we can. This is a fan that's on YouTube. AG. He says they grow valerian in their garden, but he's afraid to consume the roots, even though he buys the supplement. I would be too, because the supplement you buy is standardized, and you don't know how much of anything you're getting from the roots.
Can you hear me, Carl? You just froze for a second.
Yeah.
You don't know what the plant is absorbing from the soil.
Right. I wouldn't just take it willy-nilly either. Okay.
No. So that's I have never grown valerian. I may have to check into that.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do with it? We're not going to take it, like, for the same reason that he's not.
Oh, what if you can make tea with it?
Yeah, that's true, with the leaves. Yeah, instead of the root.
Do you want to take a break now, or you want to keep going?
Yeah, we can take a break now. We have 4 minutes till the break, but we can take it now.
No, we can keep going. I don't want to talk about the war on meat yet, because that's going to take more than 4 minutes.
What the hell? Hold on a second, please. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. We're going to take a break right now, and then we'll go. When we come back, we'll talk about meat.
We'll talk about the war on meat right now.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Casual Friday.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
As a listener of this show, you know how important your gut is to your overall health. Bioptimizers has a potent product to heal and repair your gut unlike anything else. It's called Leaky Gut Guardian. It's powered by patented IGY Max, an egg-based protein that enhances gut health, reverses antibiotic damage, and strengthens your immune system. Available in 2 delicious powders, vegetarian vanilla and chocolate carnivore. Simply mix it with your favorite beverage. Repair your gut and power up your immune system risk-free and save 10% off. Go to shrnetwork.biz/leaky gut. Don't delay. Fix your gut today. Every day, there's a new wellness trend. Eat that. Do this. Avoid those. How do you know where to start or who to trust? Inside Tracker helps you cut through the noise by analyzing your blood, your DNA, your lifestyle, and your fitness tracker to provide you with a science-backed, trackable action plan on how to live, age, and perform better. Personalized, one-size-fits-one recommendations to help you optimize you. For a limited time, Inside Tracker is offering Superhuman Radio listeners 25% off the entire store. Go to shrnetwork.biz/inside tracker, INSIDETRACKER, to save 25% off. Change begins on the inside. TaylorMade Health is focused on making sure you're able to perform and look your best. They are a leader in game-changing supplements and cosmetic products. Whether you want to increase strength, expedite recovery, facilitate soft tissue repair, or reduce deep wrinkles, TaylorMade Health has you covered. TaylorMade Health is also the home to Dr. Seed's products such as BPC, BPC Plus, and the Chill Pill. All of my listeners can now get 20% off their first order with code TRY20. That's TRY20. This code can even be used on subscription orders. Visit shrnetwork.biz/try20 today and use code TRY20 for 20% off your first order. The power of light can be truly life-changing and an important element for every superhuman. Because of this, I want you to experience the power of award-winning Celluma light therapy. Celluma utilizes NASA research technology to improve health at the cellular level and is cleared by the FDA to effectively treat a variety of pain, muscle and joint conditions, as well as facial wrinkles and acne. Our entire team here at Superhuman Radio uses it. Its innovative shape-taking design allows for easy placement anywhere on the body. Choose from 13 different models. For an exclusive listener discount, go to shrnetwork.biz/Celluma, that's CELLUMA, and use code SHR10 to save 10% off of one of these award-winning devices. You've heard us talk about the power of copper peptides here on the show. Now try it yourself with RestoraCell's amazing new skincare line built on the power of blue copper peptides. All natural, organic, made in the USA, and safe for sensitive skin. Save 30% on their stem cell awakening serum. Go to shrnetwork.biz/RestoraCell. That's RestoraCell and use code SHR to save 30% off. Remodel your skin today.
Spit that out right now. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Hey, welcome back. Oh, look, I'm turning into a ghost.
How so?
Oh, hold on. My green screen is not cooperating. It should be. I don't understand why. It's not the right settings. No.
You look fine to me.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. There we go. My hair, my side of my head was disappearing, and it starts to like twinkle. Okay, we're all better. All right. Okay. Anyway, before we talk about beef, which we have to talk about today, because this is something horrible going on, I got to talk about a sponsor. And the company is called Care Of. And they have a very unique way of helping you buy fantastic supplements. You know, lots of us buy supplements online. And if you're like me, you literally have bags of supplements. We just did this that you go through and throw away. You're like, I'm not even taking this anymore. Why did I buy this? Yeah, I can't even remember why I bought it. What was it supposed to do for me? And if this sounds like you, then you want to check out Care Of. Their website is takecareof.com. And They have an online quiz that actually makes it fun to figure out what you really need and what you don't. They can help you declutter your supplement cabinet or drawer or closet. If you're us, we literally, right? We always look at the supplements. We're like, oh my God, like we have to get rid of some of this stuff because we have no room anymore, right?
Right. It's taking over the pantry. We don't have room for food in the pantry.
And it's springtime, so this is a good time to clean your pantry closet. The quiz is fun. You'll learn a lot about yourself and your supplementing habits. If you go to takecareof.com and use the code SHR50, I believe it is. It is SHR50. You'll save 50% off.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's crazy. And if even if you don't keep buying stuff from Care of, their quiz will give you insights into the supplements you need to be taking and the supplements you don't. So it's a learning experience as well. Again, go to the website takecareof.com and use the code SHR50 and save a bundle of money, learn about your supplementing habits, and declutter your vitamin and supplement drawer.
Your life.
And your life. Yeah. Clutter makes you crazy. So check them out. Takecareof.com, SHR50. Okay. Now we're going to talk about meat.
Yes. Something near and dear to your heart. Red meat in general. Do you have the image of what the so-called new rules are going to be in the U.S. or what they? Yes, they want to cut.
So they want to cut red meat from the diet. Now stay with us with this one because this is crazy, and I'm going to show you why. They want to cut red meat by 90%, a max of 4 pounds per year per person, equivalent to 1 burger per month.
1 burger per month. Well, right. You can have 2 because you can have mine, Carl. No.
Yeah. You're going to have to find people to get their beef from at some point in time. Exactly.
Right. And I guess their reasoning is because of greenhouse gas emissions.
But wait a minute. Before we even get into greenhouse gas emissions, let's just look at what Americans eat on a day in, day out basis. And when you see these numbers, we have the sources for this infographic we're going to put up. But ask yourself, if really this is all the meat we're eating, why are they making meat sound like it's causing global problems? So here's the deal. This up here at the top at 12 o'clock is red meat. It's appropriately colored red. To the right of it, I guess it's your right, my left, is poultry.
There. Oh, okay.
And then to the other side, I'll just say the other side is fats and oils. Now, this big white area at, I guess, my 3 o'clock, it could be your 9 o'clock, that's dairy. Now, pay attention, folks, because we're going to tell you something that is going to substantiate these claims. On the opposite side are vegetables and fruits. So by far, people eat more fruits and vegetables than any other thing in the diet, followed by dairy, followed by wheat, followed by sugar. I mean, red meat isn't even in the wheat category. People eat more wheat than red meat. So why are we being told that red meat is a problem? Okay, Alisa, you take it from there.
Well, I just want to also address, so one of the reasons why they say the cattle is because of the land that they use and the water that they drink. Right. So let's address the water first. The water that they drink, 80% of the water that cows consume come from green water, what they call green water, which is rainwater.
Runoff. Yeah, right.
And then the land that is used, I think it was, the number, maybe 80%, but I'm not sure. It was a high number, is land that cannot be used for agriculture.
It's called non-arable land.
It's land that the cows.
It's hills. It's forestation. It's where you can't grow anything anyway. And in fact, there's a lot more non-arable land that's not used for anything, that if we started putting cattle on, it would be used for something. There's like 500 million non-arable acres of land in the United States that no one can grow anything on, and there's no cattle grazing.
Well, and they eat grass.
500 million.
And one of the things that is commonly used is that we feed cows grains that people could eat, but that's not true, because we feed the cows the things that we can't eat. For example, the husks of the corn, or the hops from the beer, or just things that humans don't consume is what they give to feed the cows.
Right.
So it's completing that cycle.
And again, I want to reiterate something. The water they drink, the land that they graze, and the produce that they feed on is not something we can feed on. Alisa made a very important distinction. When farmers who grow corn pick the corn and all that's left is the big husk, that big weed, big yellow thing, they cut that. That's considered grass, by the way. That's considered, it's called silage. It's considered grass. They feed that to cows. People can't eat that. They're taking that corn and they're turning it into fuel. They're turning it into sugar and syrup and stuff that we're eating. They're not using that corn that could be fed to us for the cows. They're feeding them the husks. That's what they're feeding them. The silage. It's called silage. Look it up. I wrote a whole article about this years ago.
Well, and also too, you don't, if you want to feed the world, you're going to get a higher quality protein, higher quality food from beef than you do from grains or cereals or rice or fruits and vegetables. You could survive on beef alone. You couldn't survive on rice alone. In
fact, if you've ever seen those pathetic pictures begging you for money at 2:00 in the morning to feed some poor kid in Biafra, that was when I was growing up, it was Biafra. It's always someplace. And he's got this huge distended stomach. And they're saying just 10 cents can buy a bowl of cereal for him. You can feed an entire family for 50 cents a day. And what they're feeding him is cornmeal and rice meal, okay? That huge distended stomach, I'm going to look up the name, but it's actually from protein deficiency.
If they were just giving them protein instead of cereal or
these
grains,
kids, their stomachs would go, the bulging stomach. In fact, we did a show, probably you booked it, probably 7 years ago, with a foundation that was buying and sending cattle to these poor nations, because the cattle do two things. They give milk, they pull carts, they pull stumps out of ground, and when they're done with them, they can process them and have meat.
I don't understand why they're so focused on cows.
Oh, I know why.
Why?
I know.
Tell us.
Because everything the government is doing right now is a distraction. It's designed, if we're busy fighting over gender, if we're busy fighting over racism, that, by the way, doesn't exist in the United States. We are not a racist country. We couldn't have a black president for 2 terms if only black people and brown people voted for him. LeBron James couldn't get the contract he has if there wasn't white asses in those seats. Rap music is listened to predominantly by white kids. This narrative is designed to get us to fight. Because if we're busy fighting over gender and racism, and you're not going to take my hamburgers away from me, we're not paying attention to what they're really doing. That's the God's honest fact.
Do you have the picture of the hamburger being eaten?
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm doing a couple things at the same time. Yeah, this is Joe Biden and Barack having their burger. They'll probably be able to eat more than a burger a day or a week, whatever it is.
A week,
right? Yeah, because the king and queen of a country get the best food, and the peasants have to eat porridge and cereal grains. Don't forget that. There's a reason why the Queen's guards are called beef eaters, because at a time where people could hardly feed themselves and were being told to eat bread, they were eating pheasant and beef and lamb.
So Another thing that's not addressed when we have this discussion is food waste. So I would like to talk a little bit about food waste. 40%, 40% of the food in the US is wasted. 40%. Yes. If we just cut back on food waste, we'd have so much. It's just unbelievable. So,
what are the percentages? And this is important. If anybody's ever driven past a landfill, a sanitation landfill, you know that they have these pipes with a perpetual flame, and that's burning the methane that builds up in the landfill. So when they're talking about cow farts being a problem, landfills are a problem. They're trying to burn the methane off from getting out of the landfill, but that's impossible because it's seeping out all over. But what's in landfills, honey? How much beef is in landfills?
Okay, let me just give you this number. They get 6 tons, 36 tons a day, 30 deliveries of 6 tons every day. That was just one landfill. 1/3 of all food in the country, in the world is wasted. And in the US, the breakdown is 14% comes from dairy and meat of all food that's wasted. Fruits and vegetables, 42% are wasted.
So that methane that's burning off, that they're saying, oh, we're here. This is an extrinsic effect of produce. Never mind, we're going to get into what it does to the planet, just spraying crops with hundreds of millions of pounds of petrochemicals. But then we waste the food, they throw it in a landfill, and it makes methane. And it's almost half of it is fruits and produce. And look, think about this for a second.
Let me finish these real quick.
I just want to put this up. Think about it. Look what people are eating. They're eating fruits and vegetables more than anything else. That is what's ending up in landfills. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I said 42% is fruits and vegetables. Cereals and grain are 22%, and roots and tubers are 18%. So the non-animal waste equals 82% of what's being wasted in the US, which is 40% of all food. Think of that 40%. We could feed a lot of the third world countries or the homeless, or we feed a lot of people with that 40%.
I agree. I want to just put this up here. Rob Robertson is watching today. Glad you're here, Rob. He said, again, Carl, what's the motivation? Well, ultimately, the motivation is power. Everybody thinks it's something more sinister, like population control. Our population on the planet is dropping. In fact, China just eliminated all feminists from social media platforms because the childbirth rate is dropping dangerous. You got to remember, civilization is a Ponzi scheme. If we don't keep growing, we will become extinguished on our own. And so what we are seeing right now is greed, and it always has to do with power. And they want to control our country and the world. And how do they do that? If they keep us fighting amongst ourselves, we can never organize ourselves and push our opinions forward. And that's all it is, Rob. That's all it is. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. So fossil fuels make up 80% of all greenhouse gas emissions.
Here, let me put this.
Fossil fuels are oil, coal, and gas. And that's what makes up 80% of all greenhouse gas emissions. If you look at this, 2% comes from cows.
Right. 4.7% comes from what they do with agricultural crops, which they spray hundreds of millions of tons of petrochemical-based fertilizers and weed killers and bug killers on those crops. That evaporates and goes up into the air. That contributes more to greenhouse gases than the cows. But don't talk about that because we got to become vegans now. And look at this. Transportation and electricity generation are the biggest contributors to greenhouse gases, not cows. So again, you tell me why they're making meat the enemy all of a sudden.
I want to read this to you. This could be, so the University of Cambridge changed their policy in 2016, and they banned beef and lamb, and they decreased their overall meat offerings to curb the carbon emissions 10.5% over 3 years. But over the same period, they spent over 13 million pounds on 17,545 flights, generating over 10 times more carbon emissions than the food policy saved.
See, it makes no sense. And that's why it's not real. Why are they choosing beef? Because they know we're going to get pissed off and we're going to argue about it. And we're not going to be looking over there where we should be looking. We're going to be looking over here so we can fight with the vegans. All this stuff is to distract us, folks. That's all it is. Here.
So another thing that they're suggesting that we do is to buy meat from low emission producers.
Okay. And we have one. If you want to find a low emission producer, we have White Oak Pastures on this show. They're a sponsor. Let me show you some things about White Oak Pasture. Number one, they have a negative 3.5 of total emissions per pound of product. Look at this. Look at what conventional beef is, 33. Pork, 9. Chicken, 6. Beyond Burgers, +4. Impossible Burger, 3.5. Soybeans, 2. White Oak Pastures beef, negative 3.5. So if you really think to yourself, I want to do something, but I don't want to give up beef, this is your alternative. Buy from White Oak Pastures. They have the greatest beef in the world, taste-wise. But at the same time, you're contributing to solving a problem. Look at this. This is their sequestered carbon based on how they feed their cows, a negative 3.5 emissions. Look at that.
That's amazing.
So when you look at the number of cows that they raise, this is huge. This is huge. White Oak Pastures. I think their Bitly code is shrnetwork.biz/White Oak, I think. And we have a special discount. I'll run the commercial here in a second. Well, here it is. Hold on. Here, let me just put their image up. Here, save 20% on orders up to $100. Go to shrnetwork.biz/White Oak. Use code SHR20. If you really care, if you really are like, you know what, I get it, but we have to find a better way to raise cows. White Oak is doing it. In fact, they should teach everybody else on the planet how to do it, quite frankly.
So you did a show this week, I think it was this week, on a Big Kibble about the dog and cat food. So evidently they're coming out with cell cultured meat for dogs and cats. There's a couple companies that are startup companies that are coming out with cell cultured meat. We have Beyond Burger and Impossible Meats, or whatever that other one is called.
Right. Right.
So they're coming out with a couple companies that are making cell cultured meats for pets. Think about that for a minute.
Well, I thought it was too expensive. Why are they making it for pets, number one? And number two, like, who is going to feed their dog this kind of meat? We don't know what the outcomes are. We don't know. Because don't forget, they're going to artificially enrich it with vitamins and minerals, quote unquote.
So there's a company called Bond, and they're going to use a process called microbial fermentation. They're going to isolate the part of the chicken DNA that expresses skeletal muscle protein. That meat protein is combined with yeast and put into a fermentation tank where it's fed sugars, vitamins, and minerals. Sounds like they're making wine. Once it reaches a certain density and composition, the cell-cultured protein is dried into a powder and then can be used to make anything from treats to freeze-dried pet foods.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's getting crazy right now.
It just seems so.
And we just learned the other day when we did the Big Kibble show that the meat that's used to make pet food is called V, like victory, but V meat. like it's not USDA Prime. It's not. It's called V meat, and
I
this
thought
is
it was D. Wasn't it D?
maybe I thought he said V like victory. Okay.
I thought it was D.
The bottom line is the meat that's used to make pet foods is not the meat that you or I would eat. Just like the stuff they're feeding cows is. They always make it sound like well we could be eating that instead of feeding it to it. No, we can't. That's waste. That's waste. That is waste meat. No one is going to eat that meat. Even if you grind it up and put it in sausage, no one's going to eat it. So actually, the dog food companies, albeit kibble is bad, but the dog food companies are doing a great service by taking that meat that would normally be thrown into the landfill and finding and repurposing it for pets. So why would we go to all these extremes to make meat for pet food when we have a perfectly great supply of meat that would be thrown away anyway to use in pet food? See, nothing makes sense anymore, folks. It doesn't. It's crazy.
So according to this article, more than a quarter of the environmental effects of animal growing is due to the pet food industry. What their cell-cultured food would provide is the first environmentally sustainable ethical meat for people to feed their pets.
That's a blatant lie just based on the statement I just made, because the meat that they're saying is not ethical will be thrown in the trash instead of put into dog food.
40% be a part of that 40% waste that we're already wasting.
Yeah, see, this is about greed. That's all this is. They want so desperately to make fake meat, these people. They want so desperately to do it. Who they are, I don't know. Bill Gates, the vegans, I don't know. But they're misguided. They're misguided.
In that YouTube video that I watched that Natalie sent us, they said instead of having meatless Mondays, we should have no food waste Wednesdays.
Yeah, eat everything on your plate. That's exactly right.
Or, you know, like what we do, we have a day where we just eat leftovers and we try to just clean out the refrigerator and eat everything in there that needs to be eaten.
Yeah, we usually make like a stew or a soup or like frittata. We'll take a frittata.
A frittata is a great one, or a stir fry with, you know, chicken or beef stir fry with all your veggies.
Yeah. There's ways to use your food and not throw it away. You can be conscientious.
And you can freeze it.
Yeah.
You know, like you freeze it. I froze, we had some orange juice, some organic orange juice on Easter Sunday because we had guests over. And I just froze it because we weren't going to drink it.
But listen what Alisa did. So she froze it in those large cocktail ice cubes, large square ones. And then we were going to have mimosas, and I hate mimosas because I hate all the orange juice. And she said, well, let's try putting one of these frozen orange juice ice cubes in the champagne glass. And it melted slowly, and it infused the champagne with the orange flavor and even some of the pulp. And the ice cube lasted like 3 or 4 pours. You can tell how much I drank. And it was still intact. Like, you know, it got smaller. And I was like, this is, I put it up on Instagram. I said, if you make mimosas this way, you'll never make them any other way ever again. A frozen cube of orange juice. It was delicious.
It was organic, fresh squeezed orange juice, and it froze really nicely, the pulp, and it tastes great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. There's things that you can do so you don't have to waste your food.
But really, folks, this whole war on meat is just it's distraction. It's deceptive. It's not legitimate. It's not supported by the science. It's not supported by the American diet habits. It's not supported by the landfills. It's not supported by anything except our government.
We need to get to our vaccines too. So,
want to take a quick break?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Casual Friday. Stay with us. Please post. There's a lot of questions and comments. We will get to every one of them. I promise you. So stay tuned. Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor? Strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. Being superhuman means being conscientious about the choices we make. White Oak Pastures is superhuman when it comes to raising livestock. They're committed to animal welfare, land regeneration, and rural revival. They responsibly manage the entire process from the pasture to your doorstep. High-quality, pasture-raised, great-tasting meat from a farm you can trust. Full nose-to-tail selections. They even have options for your pet. Go to shrnetwork.biz/white oak and use code SHR20 to save 20% off your entire first order. Beef. As a listener of this show, you know how important your gut is to your overall health. Bioptimizers has a potent product to heal and repair your gut unlike anything else. It's called Leaky Gut Guardian. It's powered by patented IGY Max, an egg-based protein that enhances gut health, reverses antibiotic damage, and strengthens your immune system. Available in 2 delicious powders, vegetarian vanilla and chocolate carnivore. Simply mix it with your favorite beverage. Repair your gut and power up your immune system risk-free and save 10% off. Go to shrnetwork.biz/leaky gut. Don't delay. Fix your gut today.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today. Every day, there's a new wellness trend. Eat that. Do this. Avoid those. How do you know where to start or who to trust? Inside Tracker helps you cut through the noise by analyzing your blood, your DNA, your lifestyle, and your fitness tracker to provide you with a science-backed, trackable action plan on how to live, age, and perform better. Personalized, one-size-fits-one recommendations to help you optimize you. For a limited time, Inside Tracker is offering Superhuman Radio listeners 25% off the entire store. Go to shrnetwork.biz/inside tracker, INSIDETRACKER, to save 25% off. Change begins on the inside.
This is the Superhuman Channel, doing reps with the weight of the world.
We have an old friend that's joined the show. Remember
Who's
Scott?
that?
Remember Scott Jerzik?
Oh yeah. Hi, Scott.
And he has a comment. I'll put it up here in a little bit. But yeah, he's watching. We're happy to see you. Okay. Where do you want to go now?
Before we start talking about vaccines, I just wanted to talk really quick. I'm sorry.
No, good.
I wanted to talk about watermelon since it is getting to be watermelon season. I know we've talked about this a while ago about the
Natural Viagra,
the citrulline in watermelon, but I want to just touch on that really quick because it's a fun little story. So the effects of citrulline in watermelon are, let's see, it's just called natural Viagra. There was a 2011 study that showed 24 men with mild ED. They took placebo for 1 month, and then for another month, they took the citrulline supplement. 2 of the men taking a placebo saw their erections return, but over half of the men who took the citrulline experienced improvements that brought their erections to normal hardness levels. So
there's a study that shows, and I want to add this to it. You may want to take this with your watermelon. There's a study that shows that L-carnitine is more effective at increasing the quality of a man's erection than Viagra. Now, these men probably didn't eat a lot of red meat, because if you do eat a lot of red meat, you're getting a lot of carnitine in your meat. And this may be the reason that vegan men, lose the ability to maintain an erection. I think I can say, without exposing anybody, that someone in my family dated a vegan and called me and said, he can't maintain an erection. What should I do? And I said, have him eat a steak. And he did. And he was able to maintain an erection after that. And he got off the vegan diet. So
there's several studies. There was a 2014 rat study. There was a 2017 study using citrulline and arginine in erectile function. So you may want to have watermelon ready at your house.
Hey, listen, you go to a family picnic, they serve watermelon, and somebody goes home and gets knocked up.
Is it the white part of the watermelon though?
Oh gosh, I hope not. I mean, most people don't eat all the way down. I do. I like that not so sweet part of the watermelon. Yeah.
Well, anyway, do a little research, and there are some PubMed studies out there that show it's right here. I'm looking at a PubMed study. It says it's the watermelon rind.
The rind, yeah.
Right. So
eat the white part too. That's the answer.
Okay. So vaccines.
Now, if we mysteriously get dropped from Facebook, it's because we just said the word vaccines. Then I've already posted a YouTube link in the show posting, so you can go there if you get dropped all of a sudden. YouTube will let us air live, but they'll delete us later, at least.
So
can't talk about vaccines right now. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is, vaccines have become the coronavirus vaccine has become so politicized. And I just heard someone say that if you get vaccinated and you have your vaccine passport, you'll be able to travel to Europe this summer.
Yeah. So, Europe, you know what, if that's the case, Europe is going to be suffering. Tourism is going to be down because there's a large number of Americans that don't need to get the vaccine. They just don't. It's not like they're being obstinate or combative. Oh, well, I don't need the vaccine. My health is good. If I get the virus, I'll tough it out and I'll get better. I'm not getting the vaccine for something that won't kill me.
Well, and if your vitamin D levels are where they need to be, also too, people are being shamed for not getting the vaccine.
I know.
And so my response is, my body, my choice.
So I love this. So, this is something that the left has used as the mantra during the whole debate about abortions. And I was like, okay. Alisa said it to me. She says, because I had to talk to one of my children who was being pressured by her peers.
By her peers, yes.
Get the vaccine. And I said, just tell them my body, my choice. Like that's the left's mantra for everything about a woman. My body, my choice. And if that's not good enough for them, F them.
So I guess this article is from the Washington Post, it's the New York Times. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine was paused in the United States due to blood clotting and deaths. Now, I've heard that it's been reinstated and they're using it again. There are only 6 women between the ages of 18 and 48 who developed an illness within 1 to 3 weeks of their vaccination, and 1 woman in Virginia died. But I hear that they've started up the J&J vaccine again.
Yeah, and see, our government operates under the premise of for the greater good. Like, if a few people have to die for the greater good, it's okay. And that's fine unless you happen to be that person.
Right. And so this is from the European Medicine Agency. AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine was linked to very rare cases of unusual blood clots. There's been some side effects of the Pfizer and the Moderna. So all of them have had some sort of side effects. I think the AstraZeneca was paused in Canada for people under the ages of 55. There was also reports of people getting herpes zoster from the vaccine.
That's shingles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The blood clots is the main thing that's been scary. So,
well, blood clots are killing people because a deep vein thrombosis or a pulmonary thrombosis, a blood clot in your lungs, that kills you instantly. You're not gonna have time for an ambulance to come and save you.
Carmela Sierra from Canada sent me this. It's menstrual changes to be expected after the COVID-19 vaccine. So I read the article this morning, and they talked about that the experts are trying to blame it on the stress from the pandemic, that women are seeing menstrual changes. However, several of these women started having menstrual changes as soon as they received the vaccine, not during the pandemic.
Right.
But they want to blame it on the stress.
So I want to tell you something else, and I'm trying to get this Dr. Yaden on the show from the UK. So I've been contacted by several people who have gotten the vaccine and spontaneously developed tinnitus. And I've explained that tinnitus is almost always tied to insulin resistance. The people who have tinnitus are almost always hyperinsulinemic, whether they have type 2 diabetes or for some other reason they overreact and produce too much insulin. And so this one woman I talked to, and I said, are there any other changes? Sleep? Yes, she can't sleep anymore. And I said, she needs to go have a hormones check to see if she's been pushed into premature menopause. Because she sounds to me like she's become spontaneously hyperinsulinemic, which when you go through menopause, that's when your blood sugar goes all over the place.
Well, wasn't there some chatter that it's supposed to affect fertility in women?
It can. Well, the chatter is if you get the vaccine, you should go on birth control because you don't want to accidentally get pregnant because they don't know what will happen to your fetus if you get pregnant in close proximity to getting the vaccine. Now, that's scary to me.
That's very scary.
They're telling women, if you get the vaccine in your childbearing years, you need to go on birth control for a while to make sure you don't get pregnant. Otherwise, you'll be born with a 3-headed child. I mean, I'm making a joke out of it, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
I say the sensible way to handle this vaccine is if you have a variety of illnesses, dyslipidemia, you have heart problems, you have lung problems, you've been ablated for some mitral valve prolapse, or you've been diabetic for a decade, and you're on metformin and going on insulin, and on top of that, you're in your 70s. I think this vaccine is a reasonable precaution because if you get this virus with all the other crappy things that have happened to your body that, quite frankly, you've done to yourself, you're going to die from this virus. You are, but you're also going to die from the flu. So you should get your flu vaccine as well while you're in there. But you probably already get your flu vaccine because you know that the flu will kill you. But I think that if you're young and you're strong, I don't care if you are in your 60s. I mean, there are 90-year-old women beating this virus because they're healthy, they're strong, they're active, they're not carrying around a ton of body fat. I mean, this virus preys on people who have shit on their health for the past 30 years, and now they get the virus and they die. But
don't most of the people who die from the virus have at least 2 comorbidities?
Oh, yeah, most of them are obese. Obesity is like if you're obese, if you're one of these people who just kept getting fatter and fatter and fatter your whole life and never decided to do anything about it, like this should be a wake-up call that you need to do something about it because you are prime to die from this vaccine, but you're probably primed to die from the flu too. if you get a real bad case of the flu. Sure. These people, their bodies are, because think about it. How does this virus kill people? It causes rampant inflammation, especially in the lungs. What do fat people already do? Produce. Well, they produce a ton of inflammation. Chemokines and cytokines, they are inflammatory factories. We know that visceral fat and subcutaneous fat in these really fat people, it's an inflammation factory. It's why they get that's why they get autoimmune disorders. It's why they get arthritis, and it's why they get all these other disorders, because the immune system is effed and inflammation is going through the roof. Now you give them this virus that is like, it's like throwing nitroglycerin on a fire, not even gasoline. It's like your house is on fire, and now we bring a hose of nitroglycerin and we just spray the house and it explodes. That's what it's like.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to read. My headphone keeps coming out of my ear. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just leave one in.
So this is what I wanted to read. Former director of the CDC is now the CEO of the foundation that funds factcheck.org vaccine fact-checking program. Roughly 15% of said foundation's assets are J&J stock.
Yeah.
That's incestuous.
Well, and what this does is it takes stupid people and gives them support for their stupid opinions. Oh, well, the factcheck.org said the vaccine is completely safe and there's nothing to worry about.
Vaccine project, COVID-19 vaccination project made possible by a grant from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. They received $53,501 from J&J.
And that's not a lot of money, but come on. The guy at the head of the fact-checking division, that division, is a player. He's already involved in the incestuous swamp of modern medicine.
Richard E. Besser is the former acting director for the CDC.
Yeah, it's terrible. It really is.
It is.
Okay. We have lots of comments and questions. We can take our last commercial break and come back and cover those, or is there other things you want to talk about?
I just want to touch on real quick. The governor of Alabama has banned transgender sports in high schools. Transgenders from playing in sports in high schools. So boys who now identify as girls can't wrestle with real girls. Brilliant. It's brilliant. Finally, somebody's fighting back in politics. This is terrible. A lot of women vote left. They vote Democrat. I don't understand how feminists, especially feminists, are cool with this idea that I'm a guy. I've always sucked at powerlifting because I had to powerlift against other guys. I wake up one morning and I say, I'm a girl. And you have to accept that. And I'm going to enter in the women's powerlifting competition where I will dominate for the next 5 years until I want to quit. Like, where the hell is Helen Gurley Brown? Where the hell are all the feminist leaders going? That's bullshit. He's still a guy. I don't care if he's taking hormones. They're not working yet. I mean, I don't care. I mean, where is the sanity? Thank God. So who's the governor again? Say the name again. I want to hear that name again. He's from Alabama. He is, just give me 1 second. Ivey, I-V-E-Y. Alabama governor signs ban on transgender athletes.
God bless him. Sensible person. Thank you. Thank you for some sanity.
So I want to touch on this subject really quickly too. There was a researchers at the Tufts University that shows that the diets of Americans from 2003 to 2018, they found in this study that schools have the healthiest source of food.
I find that hard to believe.
I know, me too. They analyzed food from 4 sources: restaurants, grocery stores, schools, and then other. which included venues such as entertainment and food trucks. They rated healthfulness by using two metrics: the American Health Association Diet Score
well, there's the problem right there.
And the Healthy Eating Index. The data came from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, and they found that school meals were the highest of quality out of those four.
So let's examine this for a second. First of all, the template they're using is the template that says cereal grains and vegetables and fruits and very little meat, very little fish, lots of sugars. Sugar's not bad. It's just another carb. So let's look at this. Of course, schools follow those guidances exactly. Pizza is a vegetable. Let's not forget Michelle Obama. Sure,
Tater tots.
But it's not real health. It's not real health. It's just modeling what they think is healthy. But what they think is healthy has gotten this population to where it is today of overweight, inactive idiots that we live with today because they're following that. Because there's no critical thinkers out there. Nobody's going, wait a minute. I don't want to eat all this cereal. I don't want to eat all this pasta and bread. I don't want to eat all these hollow vegetables that have very, very little real nutrition in them. Salad is not nutritious. It's water and cellulose. So that's why they were rated the top, because they follow their guidance to the T.
Well, I think it depends on what type of lettuce you use. If a salad is nutritious, because you can use spinach, you can use different greens that are a little more nutritious than an iceberg lettuce.
But it's still, if you look at nutritional density, right? An ounce of this versus an ounce of that. Animal protein wins every time.
Oh, of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
I mean, I eat salads, but I don't eat them because I like the way it tastes. I don't eat it because I think it's nutritious, because then I eat 6 ounces, 8 ounces of salmon with it, or chicken or something like that.
Right. Okay.
All right. We're going to take a last commercial break. And when we come back, we got comments and questions to work through. Okay.
Okay. And we're going to have to do the young blood next Casual Friday, because that's a story that is a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. All right. Sit tight. Okay. We'll be right back with more. The power of light can be truly life-changing and an important element for every superhuman. Because of this, I want you to experience the power of award-winning Celluma light therapy. Celluma utilizes NASA research technology to improve health at the cellular level and is cleared by the FDA to effectively treat a variety of pain, muscle and joint conditions, as well as facial wrinkles and acne. Our entire team here at Superhuman Radio uses it. Its innovative shape-taking design allows for easy placement anywhere on the body. Choose from 13 different models. For an exclusive listener discount, go to shrnetwork.biz/Celluma. That's CELLUMA. And use code SHR10 to save 10% off of one of these award-winning devices. Every day, there's a new wellness trend. Eat that. Do this. Avoid those. How do you know where to start or who to trust? Inside Tracker helps you cut through the noise by analyzing your blood, your DNA, your lifestyle, and your fitness tracker to provide you with a science-backed, trackable action plan on how to live, age, and perform better. Personalized one-size-fits-one recommendations to help you optimize you. For a limited time, Inside Tracker is offering Superhuman Radio listeners 25% off the entire store. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Inside Tracker, INSIDETRACKER, to save 25% off. Change begins on the inside. Beef.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor, strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. TaylorMade Health is focused on making sure you're able to perform and look your best. They are a leader in game-changing supplements and cosmetic products. Whether you want to increase strength, expedite recovery, facilitate soft tissue repair, or reduce deep wrinkles, TaylorMade Health has you covered. TaylorMade Health is also the home to Dr. Seed's products such as BPC, BPC Plus, and the Chill Pill. All of my listeners can now get 20% off their first order with code TRY20. That's TRY20. This code can even be used on subscription orders. Visit shrnetwork.biz/try20 today and use code TRY20 for 20% off your first order. As a listener of this show, you know how important your gut is to your overall health. Bioptimizers has a potent product to heal and repair your gut unlike anything else. It's called Leaky Gut Guardian. It's powered by patented IGY Max, an egg-based protein that enhances gut health, reverses antibiotic damage, and strengthens your immune system. Available in 2 delicious powders, vegetarian vanilla and chocolate carnivore. Simply mix it with your favorite beverage. Repair your gut and power up your immune system risk-free and save 10% off. Go to shrnetwork.biz/leaky gut. Don't delay. Fix your gut today.
This is the Superhuman Channel, where brawn and brains finally meet.
Welcome back. So we have lots of comments, and I've had to go with my other computer and look on Facebook. Some of them are from Aiden Ray. Some of them, we don't have names with everything. So I think this is Aiden Ray said valerian is where they got Valium from, and he's right. It's a benzodiazepine, and the molecule that interacts with the GABA receptor was first discovered in valerian root, which is why you shouldn't just take valerian root and chomp on it, because you could really remember messing with the GABA receptor is it can shut down central nervous system. It can shut down your breathing. It's not a good idea. So, but yes, you're right. That's where it came from. Let's see what else we have. Valerian officinalis blooms in early summer and has one of the most fragrant flowers you will ever smell. However, some people don't like it and think it smells like sweaty socks. Wow.
That's funny.
And let's see what else we have. We have quite a few comments. I'm just working through them one by one. Let's see what this one is. Oh, so this is Aiden Ray, because I went and looked at it. The agenda for 2030 is eat weeds, eat synthetic meat products. Carl Lenore, Alisa, Profumo, have you ever watched the movie Soylent Green? Yes, a very long time ago. This agenda has to be a moneymaker for food product companies, and therefore, subsequently, money for big pharma to treat unhealthy people. Heard Bill Gates is the #1 farmland purchaser now. So
we talked about that.
Someone posted on Instagram, why would a man who has enough money to end world hunger be doing what he's doing?
Buying up all the land?
Well, buying up all the land, promoting fake meat, all this other stuff. And it's very simple. And see, people want to think Bill Gates is more sinister than this. He's not. He's just greedy. He's power hungry. So if he took all of his money and ended world hunger, he'd be broke. He wouldn't be Bill Gates anymore. Nobody would pay attention to him. But if instead he does what he's doing, pushes vaccines and invests in vaccine companies, pushes fake meat and invests in fake meat companies, buys up all the land so people can't continue to farm and grow, so they have to buy his fake meat, he makes more money. If Bill Gates was noble and he was truly someone who wanted to help the planet, you're right, he would end world hunger, but that won't make him any money. That'll just cost him money.
And that's what I was going to say. He's buying up all the land, and so there's no land left for farmers.
But that's okay, because the answer that he's probably pushing the anti-beef thing, because he knows that the land he's buying is arable land for farmers to grow crops on. But he's probably not buying the land that cows graze, the hills, the gullies, the valleys. He's not buying that. And that's why he wants to push an anti-meat agenda at the same time.
He is sinister.
He's looking for money. Bear said, got 2 gallons of real milk this morning and elk and deer in my freezer. Yeah, you're ready for the war. There's no doubt about it. I don't know who this is or what this is about. Hyperalbuminemia and ascites. This is the disease. I got to see if this is Aiden Ray that posted this. So kwashiorkor is the disease of having not enough protein that ends up. Let me see if who this is. No. Kwashiorkor is the disease. I see it's blocking someone's name, so I can't give you credit. I'm sorry. If you're still watching, please just put your name down somewhere in the bottom. Kwashiorkor is the disease of that big bloated distended stomach that you see these poor kids in these horrible nations that are starving. That's from protein, lack of protein, not from cereal grains and rice. And cereal grains and rice will not make that go away. Eating meat and fish and eggs and chicken will make that go away. But they don't tell you that when they're asking for your 50 cents a day. That's the truth.
And that company that you talked about, you could actually buy goats for people and send them gifts of goats instead of the 50 cents a day to go towards cereal and grains.
You know what we need to do? We need to find that show, contact that person, and we need to start raising money to buy goats and cattle for some of these towns. We have to do that. We have to spearhead that. I want to do that. Rob Robertson says, what is your opinion of the future after you and I pass on from this earth? Revelation, enlightenment. What do you think? I think we're going to see a renaissance. I really do. I think it's because there are a lot of people. I'm not talking about the woke people, because they're really not woke. They got their eyes closed. They're marching to the hymn book that's being sold to them. But there's a lot of people, at least 80 million and growing, of real people, not the fake people that didn't really vote for Biden because they stole the election, which they did. And everybody knows that. People hate when you say that, but it is what it is. It's what happened. But there are at least 80 million people in this country that are pretty pissed off and sick and tired of it. And we're not going to go to war. We're not going to start joining militias because we have mortgages to pay. We have children in school. We are actually the backbone of America. We're farmers. We're salespeople. We're plumbers. And we work hard. And we save our money and we focus on good things in our life. And we are getting pissed off. And we actually can make a difference. Even if Facebook censors us and YouTube takes down the videos, we're passing them around in emails. We're getting to each other. We are still communicating. And I think that there's going to be a renaissance. I don't think it's too far away. I think it's within 20 years. I think we're going to see a complete upheaval of our modern political system. And I think we're going to see I hope that we see a lot of the people that are in political positions today go to effing jail, because they are ruining this country, and all just to get fat and wealthy. That's all this is about. It's all about fat and getting fat and wealthy. This is Scott Jerzik. Thanks for the Big Kibble Show. I made a big batch of the real food recipe from Just Food for Dogs on Saturday. Our dog's bowel health changed immediately.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And then when I said he was watching, I went over and he said, big hello to both of you. And how's Christina? We hope she's doing well. The rind of the citrulline.
Yes, the rind for citrulline.
These must be the same jokers that want us to eat fake meat. My nieces and nephews get garbage from the school lunches. That's right. They do. Quantum electrodynamics says you can't think of time linearly. He says it's happening right now in the present moment at all times. Human consciousness has been fragmented. Do you know what legendary foods will be available in the UK? I will find out and I will message you here on Facebook. I will.
And I will remind him.
Yeah, because I won't do it otherwise. I'll say I'll do it, but I won't. I'll forget as
I'll
soon as.
remind you.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's Casual Friday on Monday. We have Kentucky Derby season here in Kentucky, and we're probably just going to be chilling at home.
And don't forget, if you have emails, you can email me stories or questions or comments. casualfriday@superhumanradio.net. Michael Taylor sent me one last week or last month, and we didn't get to it today, but we will get to it. And any questions or comments, just email us.
Oh, I'm going to put that up. The visual, for the people who are visual here. Casual Friday. Did I spell it all right? Yeah, at superhumanradio.net. That's where you get in touch with us, and we will talk about whatever you send us on the show. Yeah, okay. Do we get a Casual Friday this Friday? No, no. That's why we're doing it today.
That's why we're doing it on Monday.
Yeah, because we're taking off on Friday for the Derby. So there you go. All right, look, to all of you who participated in today's show and were here, thank you so much for being here.
And thanks to everybody who sends me stories, Carmela, Nick Guggs, a lot of people. Thank you.
And tomorrow is Tuesday, so we will have the Blueprint Power Hour with Coach Rob Regish. So tune in for that, where we answer your questions about training, nutrition, drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Nothing is off topic, so come by and say hello. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
Bye.